And good morning, good evening, and welcome everybody to Froggy Friday on July the 10th with Reverend Kathryn Cardinal sharing her wise words. I'm off to be the wizard. So I am grateful for us today. We have Reverend Kathryn, Paul, and Reverend Claire here, and people will be joining as we go through the service. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And I would like to invite Paul, our practitioner, to lead us in an opening meditation directly followed by a spiritual mind treatment, or otherwise known as affirmative prayer. So I'll turn this over to you, Paul.
Thank you, Reverend Mel. So I ask you to join me in this few minutes. Just make yourself comfortable wherever it is that you are, and whatever that comfort entails. Just be comfortable. Consciously relax your muscles, all the muscles that you can relax. And to help this, just take a deep breath in, very deep breath in. Let go. Another deep breath in. And release. One more time, a deep breath in. And release. And as you release, just release also any thoughts that may be crossing your mind, if you can. Just be. Just take a few minutes just to relax. Relax in the knowledge that you're in the right place. This is where you ought to be. Were it not so, you'd have been somewhere else. And whatever you're doing, whatever you're experiencing in this Froggy Friday, this is a design of the divine. The divine chooses to experience this moment this way. And as such, just relax in this awareness. Relax in this truth. Let it go. In hindering thoughts that would curtail your relaxing. Treat your conscious, treat your spirit with this truth. That you choose to relax, knowing that this is where you ought to be. This is what you ought to be doing. So I invite you to take 1 or 2 minutes just to meditate and relax your body in this truth. That you're in the right place and you're doing what you ought to be doing. while still in that stillness, in that centeredness. I invite you to know with me, to remember, to appreciate, and to rejoice in this truth that all that there is, all that is expressing is nothing but God, expressing in diverse and various and different locations, various ways, expressing the same divine spirit. And I know I'm this spirit in full expression. And so too is each and everyone right here and wherever our fellow members may be. They are nothing but expressing the same. Spirit chooses to express itself in different ways, which is perfect, whole, and complete. And it's all good. And with this realization, with this awareness, I claim the unfoldment of this perfection in this service. I claim the growth, the expansion of consciousness, which is the nature of spirit in this service. I claim the unification, the oneness, the sharing of love amongst ourselves. I know it's unfolding right here and right now. And I'm grateful. And I'm grateful for this wonderful time. I'm grateful for this Froggy Friday, for this sacred moment where we devote time to grow ourselves, to expand our consciousness, and to share this oneness. I am really grateful for this. And I release my word into the law that takes the word and manifests, knowing that it's already done. And together we say, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Paul. I see we have a few more people joining us. We have Lady T and Mary Birch. Welcome, welcome. And good morning to everybody. As I mentioned earlier, we have Reverend Kathryn sharing her talk today. And the talk title is I'm Off to Be the Wizard. So that's quite exciting for us to have. And before we get into that talk, I would like to know if Reverend Claire has have any announcements or education updates.
Our Creative Word Understanding Spiritual Mind Treatment class has started. We're excited that we had ended up with 17 students
Wow.
registering for the class. It's a fantastic class. And we're looking forward to the next class that's going to be happening after that, which is still in the works. So pay attention, listen up, and that's what's happening with education.
Is it too late to join that creative word class now?
Uh, um, to get credit for it, I think so. It's
Okay.
only 6 weeks,
Ah,
and so uh, missing the first 2 weeks. Although if people want to drop in and be there for the session, they're always welcome to do that.
thank you, Reverend Claire. And I believe we keep Fridays as like a pinpoint for other engagement activities. And Reverend Claire also hosts the prosperity gathering and the visioning, I believe. And so which happens on which Friday? Could you?
So next Friday will be our prosperity gathering. It's an informal, open group where we talk about what we're working at creating in our lives and give and receive support, knowing the truth for each other. And so that will be next Friday. And then the first Friday of the month is always visioning, which it has a powerful spiritual practice that we can join together in.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay, we have a song. And I was going to invite Paul to do a solo, but I wouldn't want to scare him that badly. So we are going to sing One People. It's I think our main song that really defines who we are. And I will lead, and it's up to you if you want to sing along with the mute on, or if you want to try and sing along with the mute off. It's a bit of a challenge, but we will give it a go. So I'll just share the words. Hopefully I'll find the right note, right key, and let me just go. We are one people, one strong
Strong
heartbeat,
heartbeat,
just
just
one
one
spirit
spirit
shining
shining
bright
bright
within
within
us
us all.
all. We are part of one another, born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one. We are one people,
People,
one strong heartbeat,
heartbeat,
just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are part of one another, born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one. When it's all said and done, we are one. All right. It's always a little scary doing that solo, I have to say. It's much nicer when you have musicians in the background. So, without any further ado, I would like to introduce a lady who needs no introduction. Reverend Kathryn Cardinal, who is a powerhouse in this teaching, is the president of our board for CSL Kenya, the North American board, is also a minister in CSL Edmonton, and is a friend. She is a teacher, she is a leader, and she is a really great organizer, if you don't know. So I would like to welcome Reverend Kathryn with her talk, I'm Off to Be the Wizard. Yay!
Thanks so much, Reverend Melody. I appreciate that. And it's so nice to see everybody here today. So I'm curious, and you can come off mute if you want to pop something into or pop something into the chat, although I may not be able to see that very easily. When I'm curious what comes to mind when you hear the word wizard or wizardry. It might be Harry Potter. I'm not sure if many people in Kenya read Harry Potter in the late 1990s. Have you heard of Harry Potter, Paul? I see you on camera. You can tell me. Is Harry Potter known in Kenya?
Yeah. There are some people who know about Harry Potter and all the series, but I wanted to answer the question wizard. I think of. I actually was asking myself, is there a difference between a wizard and a witch?
Oh, interesting question, which
So I
I
thought,
may or may not get to today, but maybe. Thank you.
Hmm.
So sometimes we do think of a wizard as somebody in long robes, maybe a sorcerer's hat. Um,
Ooh.
and sometimes that purple robe is something that comes to mind with a sorcerer. I see Wilkester's put something in, and I'm not quite sure what that meant because I think that was the Swahili word. So Sometimes we think about a magician, that a wizard might be a magician. We just currently had a mentalist come to entertain us in Edmonton, and it almost was like he was mind reading. And someone might think, man, that's a wizard. I bet my friend Reverend Melody thinks about a game that may or may not come be in Kenya. It's called Dungeons and Dragons, and it has a worldwide following. And I know that there are wizards within that game. There's an old movie, The Wizard of Oz, that's come back now into other Broadway shows and other newer movies, Wicked, and then that talks about the backstory. So there's many, many things. Sometimes we think about wizards, and as Paul mentioned, sometimes we wonder if that might be a witch as well. So traditionally, currently now, those are many of the things that people think about when we hear the word wizard. And traditionally, that word references somebody that is believed to have magical powers. And maybe, especially if they are practicing magic and they possess special knowledge or abilities. But did you know, or I'm going to just think about a few other of the definitions that we have for wizards. So that is one of them, and that's one that we often think of. But the definitions from in the dictionary, the Cambridge Dictionary, also show a few other definitions. One being a wizard is somebody that is very clever or very skilled at something. So, for example, they have a particular really good talent in a particular field. So somebody might say, well, that person's a real computer wizard, or they're a financial wizard. And we hear about that sometimes. So that skill is a piece of it. Also, in the computing technology world, there's a term that is often attributed to a wizard, which is a piece of software that can help us as a computer user by giving us really clear and simple instructions for something that is a lot more complicated. So if you've ever set up your intranet on your computer, and it seems on a new computer perhaps, sometimes there's a setup wizard that helps us by asking us 2 or 3 simple questions, and then it does all of this magic in behind without us having to do any kind of computer coding. If there's gamers, gamers in the room, whether it's an online game or in board games like Dungeons and Dragons is, there's often wizard capacities. As you move up in skill, you become wizards in many games as well. But I want to focus and let you know what there is one more definition, but it's not actually used anymore. It's an archaic definition. And in Middle English, the term wizard came from the word wizard, spelled differently, meaning wise person, or one who is wise. And I find it very interesting how we've, morphed this term from somebody that might be a wise elder to somebody that has actually magic. So I'd just like us to think about that, because really all of us are wizards because we are all wise people. So in preparing for this talk, I came up with my own acronym for wizard. So a different letter or word for each of the letters, and WIZARD. And so this is what I came up with. Wizard, wisdom in zeal, awareness, renewal, and discovery. So with something that we can think about as we move into our own and tap into and allow our own wizard talents to come forth. So all of us as wizards have wisdom gained from life experiences. Many of us have a zeal for growth and purpose in our lives. We have awareness of ourselves and others. The renewal is about renewing ourselves through transformation. And the discovery, about discovering the deeper meaning about any of the things that we are doing in our experience of life or the experiences that come to us. So we can all tap into our wizard qualities. So I'm going to share a little bit about Harry Potter, which has been a very popular series for young people, but many adults really liked the series as well. And it's a series of 7 stories or books, and many of them have also been made into movies. So when those books came out in kind of the late 90s, the early 2000s, I kind of missed the Harry Potter craze. I was just starting some careers. I didn't have children, and I didn't read the books, but I came across them last year. Somebody referenced some of the most interesting things in a Potter story, and I decided that I would like to read the series. So one of my goals this year is to read those 7 books, and so far I'm about halfway through. I've read the first 3. So if you haven't been exposed to Harry Potter and the series, I will just give a bit of an um, background of what it's about. So Harry Potter, on his 11th birthday, finds out that he is a wizard and that he has been accepted into a school of witchcraft and wizardry to allow his innate talent to be honed. There he learns magic, he makes lifelong friends, and he uncovers the truth about his parents' deaths and the connections to wizards that were on the dark side, Lord Voldemort, and also wizards on the good side. And that was a wizard called, I've just forgotten his name.
Dumbledore.
Dumbledore, thank you. So in the stories, he faces challenges that test his courage, his loyalty, and his character. And really, the story is, I find it fascinating and so many tie-ins to the science of mind of how we need to tap into our innate knowledge, tap into our understanding, and allow our true self to come forth. And it really is a coming of age story about identity, about belonging, and about choosing love over fear. And really, the story is the story for all of us. It's a universal story because all of us have those kinds of experiences in our lives that each of us, and we can choose if we want to consider our life as a pilgrimage. So, how we can move through our own learning, our own growth, and then be able to share that with others. One of the things in many of the stories of wizards, because wizards show up in lots of literature, lots of stories, lots of movies, and I mentioned games and things like that earlier. One of the things that really shows up is that the wizard is more than a magician, that the wizard represents those things that I talked about earlier: wisdom, transformation, guidance, and the discovery of our own hidden potential. And that this is our lifelong journey of wisdom and learning and transformation. So, something else, and this really is a an experience that we all have. So, one of the things that wizards or ourselves end up facing in life are many challenges. In wizard stories, the challenges show up as quests. So I get a quest to go and learn something. I get a quest that I need to overcome. I get a puzzle that I need to figure out. And sometimes if we're aware, we can look at our lives as having these quests and challenges and come to them from a perspective of, this is for my highest good, this is for my growing, this is for my transformation. But many people may not actually do that. I believe everyone in this circle often does it. But one thing that's popping up a lot in North America are things called escape rooms. And escape rooms are kind of like this journey of life that we do, but that we go for an hour or two and we do puzzles and we do challenges, and we have to try to escape from the room by figuring out these quests or these challenges. I think that it's because we don't have the awareness of a lot of the things that are, many of us in our experience, that these are very popular because we have this inner calling to continue to challenge ourselves, to continue to move forward, to continue to have growth in our experience of life. And if we're not consciously doing that, then we find other ways of doing that. And these escape rooms are one of the things that are now showing up that allow people to have that same experience, because that experience is the hero's journey, where we move. Joseph Campbell talked about it a lot, and that that hero's journey is really about the journey of awakening within ourselves. So how can we do some of that? You know, that inner transformation, that hero's journey that we all go through, whether we're aware of it or not, really has many stages. It has the stage of awakening, where we realize that there's more to life than external success or circumstances. Then this next stage is we start to seek. So we study, we reflect, meditate, we search for a deeper truth on things in our experience of life. And then there's the transformation, where we release old beliefs, fears, or limitations. And so, again, can think about your spiritual journey and where you may be on that with the awakening, the seeking, transformation. And this is not a one and done situation. It kind of is like a spiral where it happens over and over and over in our experience of life. Now, as we have an experience of transformation, then our opportunity is the next stage where we integrate what our spiritual insight has been into our everyday experience of life and our relationships. And then the final stage of this particular opportunity on the hero's journey is to be in service. So, how then are we in service to use the wisdom that we have gained to help and inspire others? So, really, this opportunity, when we think of ourselves as wizards, is that we all are that wizard within, and that we actually have the ability to impact our reality. And that by doing so, the wizards, we learn to work in harmony with these deeper principles of life. This really connects and is very much in alignment with the teachings of Ernest Holmes and Science of Mind. As you know, our teaching emphasizes the power of consciousness, and this really is the greatest journey that any one of us can go through and have, and that is the transformation of ourselves. One interesting story, people would say that sometimes in the Science of Mind, that George Lucas, who wrote Star Wars, was influenced by the Science of Mind, and it's very well known that he had a copy of the Science of Mind on his bookshelf. And if you saw the movie of Star Wars, it is another movie that has this experience of transformation, all of those 5 stages that I've just talked about. So for each of us, we have the opportunity to move through this journey of life, from knowledge to wisdom, from fear to faith, and from living in a relative experience to living consciously. And this really is our own journey of being a wizard in our experience. There are many, as it's a hero's journey and it is a universal story, we see this in many different aspects. And I'm sure there's stories, if you think about it, stories that you've told your children, because many of the mythologies of many cultures have this hero's journey present, because it is such a universal experience. So the next piece I want to think about and challenge each of us is think about where this is in our experience of life. One of the things around the wizards in Harry Potter is that we have the wizard who was more applied, used his wizardry for not so good, and that was Voldemort. Can't say that name today either. So what he found was, I'm just going to, Voldemort.
He who shall not be named.
That's right, which is why you don't hear the name very often in the book. It's a good point. It was interesting because in the book that I just finished reading, and halfway through, it was discovered that what his biggest fear was, and the reason that he was moving to the dark side, was because he was fearful. He was fearful of death itself. And because of that, he tried to do all of these things to stay alive longer. But ultimately, what created his dark side moment was because he was in fear. And all of us have fears about something, whatever that might be. And the reason that Dumbledore was so much the wizard of the good and the wisdom is that he used all of his knowledge to be able to move through and be in service to others. And so really that is the call for each of us, is to move through that fear so that we can be in more service first at the beginning to ourselves and for ourselves and our family, but ultimately then to the larger community. So that is the challenge for us all today that I'm going to leave us with. I'd like to invite us to consider the wizard trail that is our life and that is our everyday experience, and recognize that we have the power of choice. From the moment that we get up in the morning, we get to choose how we want this day to be. Do we want to, start our morning routines with something that will be positive for us, or do we want to just throw the covers back over our head and go, not today? Each of us has that choice, and that in little moments is the hero's journey. Reverend Claire, I see you giggling about that. So the phrase, be the wizard, it suggests that we make the choice for that is helpful for us each and every day. It is about becoming the wise, creative, conscious person who shapes our own journey rather than waiting for someone else to come and provide the answers to us or to rescue us. So clues to get started. Think about those qualities that Holmes talks about in the Science of Mind book. Love, light, love, power, peace, beauty, and joy. Think about which one of those, when we're experiencing that, what brings us our aliveness? Where do we come alive? And where do we experience each of these qualities most naturally? And from there, we can continue to develop them because that will be one of our strengths. So we can also be the source of wisdom by developing our understanding through experience, reflection, and learning. Each of us knows this, that we can be the creator of our own life, and I invite us to do so. So like the wizard, let's use the tools and the knowledge that we have to recognize our ability to make choices and shape our future. We get to transform ourselves. We can move beyond our old limitations and discover our hidden abilities. And then we can become a guide for others where we can use what we've learned to help support and inspire people on their journeys. And ultimately, underneath all of this, let's trust our inner knowing, that inner intuition, to listen to it, to listen to our intuition, to use our imagination and listen and be in alignment with our deeper values. So when we are being the wizard, it allows us to awaken to all of these things. And each of us has this power to be in service. And I know each of us is doing that in a variety of ways in our own life experience. So there was a group of people in Minneapolis recently that came together, and they've used singing as a form of resistance. And one of the lines that they used in their singing to go out into the community to let people know that they were being supported, the song said, "I am not afraid. I'm not afraid. I will live for liberation because I know why I was made." And in an interview, one of the leaders of this group said, "We sing to be in community together. We sing to strengthen, to move beyond the fear that we are having, because we too are afraid, but we're affirming in our song that as a community, we are not." And so that's one of the reasons we come together in spiritual community, to be able to help each other when we have moments of fear or moments of forgetfulness, to remind ourselves that we are in this together. We can actually allow ourselves to come forth. So let's be the wizard in our own lives. We can study, we can learn, we can practice, we can choose, we can tap into that inner power that is who we are. Now, it might be the magic wand, or really it's knowing our divine nature and trusting the tools that we have, like spiritual mind treatment as an example. Ultimately, we have the opportunity to remember who we are and whose we are. So I'm off to be the wizard, and I invite you to join me.
Thank you, Reverend Kathryn. Wow. Yes, inspiring and touching on so many of my favorite books. I really enjoyed that. Now, does anybody have any comments for Kathryn or any questions? I see Paul's showing his face, so I assume he has something to say. He always has wise things to say.
Thank you, Reverend Kathryn. I liked your talk. And those wizards, they have unpronounceable names, both of them. So you
You
can just say, you can
want me
say,
to try again?
"Dot."
Dumbledore is the wise wizard, and
Mort,
Voldemort.
Voldemort.
I have to have it in front of me to see it. Voldemort. So
Okay, so there is one who is like fearful, and the other one who is not fearful. When you are sharing your talk and about those wizards, it dawned on me that when we have the fears, the worries, and the concerns, it doesn't alter the facts of life. It doesn't alter uh, the fact that maybe we will live for 100 years, or we will live for a very short time, or whatever we do or don't do might be forgotten. It doesn't alter that. So kind of, yeah, I felt like, yeah, one is called to be of service and just live your life to the full, not so much concern as to what will become or not become, because that already has its own, may I say, life. It will take its course how it will take it. So we are just called to do what is in us and express God more. Thank you for bringing that to
thank you for the
yeah.
comment.
And also I wanted to ask you before somebody else says something. This the escape rooms, is it like when you I was wondering, is it when you want to or when you are afraid of leaving your calling, where you go to, the activities that you involve yourself in order to forget your calling? Is that the escape rooms?
I'm not hearing the word you're saying. Skip.
No, it's you who reference the you're saying people have the escape rooms.
Oh, escape rooms. Yes, escape.
Yes.
Yeah, so we do that to distract ourselves. But I also think we do it because there's this inner calling to do quests and challenge. So if we're not getting growth in our own life, we go looking for ways to find growth or to do a puzzle to allow ourselves to have that experience of success where we come up with a challenge and then we figure it out and then we have the success. So we're creating experiences to have that.
Mm-hmm. I
Okay.
did an
Okay.
escape room once, and it's very much like the hero's journey. You go in and you have this room, and this one had a great big pyramid in the middle, and there were things that you had to look at and decide, is this a clue? And then you had to kind of follow the clues, and it would point you to different places. And the whole point is to figure it all out and do the last thing that lets you out of the room. We failed, but it was fun.
Yeah. We've created entertainment to allow us to have the experience of a hero's journey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, I don't think,
not a bad
because
thing.
I don't really want to go through life with some of the trials and tribulations that the people in the stories have had.
Not a bad thing.
But we do have our own trials and tribulations, so we all are on our own hero's journey in our own way.
Yeah. And sometimes if we can figure out that we can do like a puzzle and get out of an escape room, then we can think about where that shows up in other areas of our life, right? Because it's always learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are hard though, and you can't get out.
Yeah, so I've discovered. I see Reverend Claire was taking notes. Did you have anything to add?
One thing I love about the escape room, the hero's journey, and Dungeons and Dragons, the role-playing game, is that all of them involve working together. So in a Dungeons and Dragons game, people create their character, and you may be one with a lot of physical strength, but you don't have as much intelligence, or you have some magic skills, but you're weak physically. And in the escape room or in the hero's journey, part of it is seeking your mentor that guides you. And that's the part that really resonates with me with Science of Mind, that we're not on this journey. I mean, it wouldn't be any fun in an escape room just to go in there by yourself. It's the fact you're all working together and trying to use your different skills and approaches. And I've often thought of that, because on the hero's journey, it's not that you get to the end. It is a spiral, as Kathryn said, and you go on the quest, you learn, you have trials, you break through, you return then with what you know, and then there's another call to go even higher and experience it on a different level. So I think they're powerful stories about our lives, because we are all on this journey of awakening, discovering our own unique gifts.
Thanks,
I
Claire.
appreciate those wise words. Thank you.
All right, Wilkester, Lady T, or Mary, anything you wish to add? Put your hand up or unmute. I see Wilkester's unmuted.
I would say I'm happy. I'm glad that I joined today, and to Reverend Kathryn, that's so powerful. And then I had this meaning of the word wizard back in my mind, which I translated to the Kenyan meaning to be someone who has got unique powers. But from getting the meaning of the word wizard, I'm like, oh, there's no much big difference. It's only the way we see them or the way we interpret them. Yeah, I'm so happy in this life it's a journey of unfolding, a journey of letting go, a journey of opening up to receive the good. Like there's so many stories and lessons in the hero's journey. So I'll say thank you, Kathryn, and thank you for everyone.
Thank you, Wilkester. I see Mary has unmuted.
Okay, yeah, I'm having a little trouble with my phone. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I just want to say how much I enjoyed it. I had read part of the series, the Potter series. Oh gosh, maybe a year ago. I got about halfway through, and then I don't know why I stopped, but I did. But I loved the references made to the similarities to Science of Mind, and the good energy versus bad energy. And yeah, when I read it, I did not see it that way, so I'm just grateful for that. And I think I'm grateful that it possibly has impacted a lot of people that way, even though the messages were sort of hidden. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I love the way it was presented. And just kudos all around. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. And that leaves Lady T. I'm not sure she has anything to add, or? Okay. All right. So again, thank you, Reverend Kathryn. So much appreciated taking time out of your workday to be of service to Froggy Friday, right to the point of, or one of the points in your talk. So I appreciate that. We don't have Pat here, but is there anybody here who is going to need treatment? Because we will need to create a room, and I might try and do that. If you're looking for a 1 minute miracle with a practitioner, let me know by putting your hand up. And I am going to see if Wilkester is available to do the closing treatment. I haven't asked before, so I want to check in now to see if that's something that she is available to do right now. And if not, so I'll see if Wilkester.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Okay, wonderful. So if you could do the closing treatment, I would really appreciate it. And then if anybody needs to go into a breakout room with a practitioner, I'll give that a whirl.
Okay, join me as we say the gratitude. In this moment of joyfulness, the moment of connection, the moment of oneness, I recognize the one spirit, the all-knowing, the all-intelligent, the all-powerful as God. In this moment of learning, in this moment of embodying life, embodying all the attributes of God, living them, I say thank you. Grateful for this moment, for the gadgets, for the internet, for the students show up, for our teacher, Reverend Kathryn, for the host, for the willingness to be in this class, in this platform sharing, of loving, of knowing the truth of who we are. I'm grateful for everything that's unfolding into our lives. As I recognize we are the individualized expressions of this oneness that we call God, and that is good. And God is there, everywhere, ever present, ever knowing. I give gratitude for everyone, for even our center, CSL Kenya. I give even gratitude for my driver who said yes to pull over for me to join, for me to do the treatment. I'm so grateful. I raise these words of thankfulness, words of gratitude, with a joyous heart to the Lord of mind, knowing that it's all good and it's all God. And together we say, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you very much, Wilkester. Thank you, everybody. Now, I don't see any hands up for treatment. So have a good evening, Kwaheri, and see you next Froggy Friday, which I believe is Reverend Claire. Let me double check the schedule. Is it Claire? Yep, I think it is.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll have Reverend Claire sharing at our next Froggy Friday, which is 2 weeks from now, so the 24th, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah. So we will see you then. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a
Thanks,
lovely
everybody.
weekend.